of the many myths and misconceptions surrounding abuse. The biggest one is that it's all about violence, physical violence, and that for a man to become a victim, it must be because he's weak or not a real man. If you're not being physically attacked, it can then be quite difficult to identify whether or not abuse is actually taking place, because the victim will often accept blame for incidents and carry the burden of guilt on themselves. I mean, that's certainly what I did. Once an abuser assumes dominance or control of you, the next stage is to humiliate you, to make you feel bad about yourself or defective in some way. I was told that I was fat, bald, ugly. She would say it in front of friends like she was joking, but when she got drunk and nasty, I mean, it came out with venom, with feeling. Once you've done that, the next stage is isolation, in order to increase your dependence on the person who's abusing you. They'll try and cut you off from the outside world, and this involves maybe stopping you from seeing friends or family. In my case, that really hurt. All of the dominance and the humiliation are backed up with threats and intimidation. This is designed to sort of scare you into submission. Occasionally, though, the threats and the intimidation would be backed up with violence. It could be something as small as just throwing a bottle at my face, a plastic bottle. It could just be a slap, depending on how drunk she was. If she needed to fight, then ignoring wouldn't work. There would be a list of things in order of strength until she found the response that she needed, and it would make me retaliate. Because then she got to play the part of the victim. I suppose what people are thinking now is, well, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you understood this was going on? Why not leave? The fear of leaving and the fear of the unknown outside that relationship outweighed the actions that were happening within it. It wasn't like this every day, all day, every day. There were some good moments too. So even when things were good and she was happy and relaxed, I was constantly on edge. And I knew I had to escape. I'd made arrangements to see my mum at a nearby coffee house. And when she sort of sat down with me, I started to cry. I couldn't stop. I was finally able to admit to someone what was going on. I told her I didn't even recognise myself in the mirror. I mean, I was so far removed from the man that I was. I mean, she was calm and she listened to everything I had to say, and she provided me with the very thing that I didn't believe I had, which was a way out. And that was that. I was done. I packed my bags and I left. And it was like a weight lifted. If you've had a situation like this and you don't tell anyone, even if you're away from the situation, it still lives inside of you. It still owns you. And the only way you can set it free is by telling people and by talking about it. And that's what I would say to anyone who's in my situation, been in my situation, thinks they're in my situation. The power lies with you. Just have to take it.